it's Kendra, and it's been about a week. I think I'm almost exactly. It might be 8 days, but about 7. So I did the last episode of Such Nice Work. We're on another roll. We'll see if this sticks. I haven't finished a lot, or really even worked on a lot when I'm looking at it. At least not a lot for me. But I've been doing a lot of other creative projects around the house, and I've been daily vlogging for Vlogist. So between the filming and the editing and just all of that, that has eaten into some of my crafting time, which is fine because it is kind of crafting, just in a different way. So I thought I would show you what I've been working on. I have a couple of FOs, some I'm proud of yous. I have finished dog fur. You always know it's done if it's covered in dog and cat fur, right? At least this is for me, so that is probably true. It's not so true when it's for somebody else. Then it's when you remove the dog and cat fur that it becomes done. But I finished the shawl I was showing you last week. I think it was my garden shawl. And I put a stitch marker in right here. That was where I was at last week. So I really only did like probably one more repeat of the pattern. But it had gotten pretty big, so I mean that took me a little bit of time. But the ends are still out intentionally. I want to block this, and it's 100% wool, so it will definitely make a difference. So I didn't want to take the ends off till I was done, you know, dealing with it. But I'm very happy with how it turned out. It's going to be a comfy, like a very usable size. And I really like the way the purple variegated worked out with the colored skein that I used along the edge, which was purple, green, and yellow variegated. So this is good. It was made out of the Marion shawl pattern, which is available on the Yarn Inspiration site from Karen. And I used a size N hook and 2 skeins of yarn from Straw Family Farms that I bought at Wamigo Winter Wool Fest. And my necklace is much better. My clasp was in the front, and so it was choking me. Other things that I finished, well, these 3 are finished, with some yarn that we dyed for my son's 4th birthday in June. I made this for my daughter. It's an egg. It is the leftover bits of the yarn that I dyed with. I skeined up yarn, and then each of the kids helped me dye a hank, and then I dyed 2 hanks by myself. So the ones that the kids helped me dye, these are the leftover hanks of the boys, and then my daughter used hers and made her own dishcloths. And then, so the birthday boy, when he turned 4, I made an octopus out of his yarn, and I made an octopus out of my 2.5-year-old's yarn. So those are fun. I didn't have enough yarn to make an octopus for my daughter, and so I just put it all together, and it was going to be like a ball-ish shape that turned out an egg, which I'm fine with. And these are stuffed with yarn bits that I have been putting aside in a jar. Since these are just for us, I didn't feel bad stuffing them with that. I feel bad if I'm either going to get things as gifts or sell things. It's kind of weird if I stuff them with, like, random stuff. I'm worried someone's going to get a hole or something and it's going to be weird to them that they open it up and the yarn guts are yarn. And then for myself, with the 2 skeins that I dyed, this I called his birthday yarn because I dyed a rainbow and then in half the skein, and then on the white side I dyed 6/19, which is his birthday, into it. And then this is like a dark black and blue and purple that I made. This is like an owl. I've been wanting a little owl pillow. It does not have eyes yet or a beak. And it might get some other body parts. But I realized what I was going to do. I could use like acrylic or something. I have no more white cotton. But then I was like, you know, I'm going to leave this unfinished. Consider it done. Because I've woven in the ends. I know. Yay me. I usually am bad about that. Ends are woven in. But it doesn't have facial features. And I'm going to put this aside. And as I dye more yarn, or if I have some special yarn that's left over from something, or hand spun, or I don't know, something that is significant, then I will add parts to this as I go. But for right now, it's owl enough for me. And this too is stuffed, just full of yarn bits from different projects. And this one's fun. As I was putting the yarn in, I recognized a lot of the projects that the yarn was coming from. The little, because I have been collecting in a jar well, 2 jars, all of the ends that I cut off when I weave in, especially on like blankets and things. So that was kind of a fun way to remember things, and now they're all stuck inside this owl. And the next thing that I have been working on is this shawl, which my hook is stuck in. And this is out of Loops and Threads Wool-like, which you can get at Michael's, which I bought in California when we were visiting on a trip a while ago, specifically because I'd heard good things about it. It's a fingering weight acrylic, which means that this will be very easy to care for. And so I bought some when we were visiting my parents. This is going to be a shawl. And it's a shawl that you can wear a number of ways. And it even has a name, which I will remember right now. The Pacific Rim Shawl. And it is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's going to end up being like I think it's got hexagon. Anyways, it has like long, these ends are long and pointy. And it will sit around your shoulder, and there's a whole bunch of ways you can wrap it. I have some waist yarn in there, so I know where my increases are. But when I started it this week, I have added this, half of this gray section, a purple section, a gray, a purple, and I'm partially through the next gray stripe. So I will throw a progress keeper in there now, so that I know where I am. This, clearly, on an F hook with fingering weight yarn, goes much, much slower than that bulky, super bulky, whatever, 2-ply hand spun that I had been using was going. So this is a slow moving project, but I think this is going to be really wearable and useful come fall and winter. And my plan is to go potentially as far as these 2 balls will take me. I'm going to go as far as the pattern is and then see what I think, if I want to keep growing it or not. But I like a fairly substantial, and the nice thing with that shawl is I can kind of try it on as I go, so when I get to a size where I think it will be most useful, I'll just stop. And then the last project that I gave any love to this week is my afghan that I have been working on. And, well, there went my hook. I worked on it yesterday mostly. Actually, I hadn't picked it up till yesterday in the car. We went peach picking, which I guess just turned into peach buying because they had already done the you-pick portion for the day. And I just worked on this in the car. So I had finished, oh my goodness, how am I orienting this? There we go. That's the top. I had finished the ball of yarn last time I showed you. So I was here where these tails are because I haven't, well, they've been crocheted over, but there's some ends. There were knots in my skein at the end of the line. Like, there's a knot here, and maybe there's only one. I felt like there were 2. But anyways, there were knots in it, like, right at the beginning. So I just pulled out the yarn until I got past those knots. But I started here, so I've done from here to here. And I did that yesterday while we were driving. And yeah, it's turning out good. I'm still really happy with it. I think the color's nice. I think the size is going to be nice. I haven't figured out yet how many balls of yarn I think I'm going to use. I have, like, I'm on my second one, which is the last of what I have. So we'll see what size it is. If I like the size, I have some potential plans for this afghan. We'll see what size that turns out, if I want to keep going and get more yarn or what. I really haven't gotten that far in the process of figuring out where I'm going. I'm changing my stitch marker right now. My progress keeper, which is one that I made. It's a little cow, and it says moo. It's a charm that I had forever, and I just put it on a lobster claw, and I use it as a progress keeper. Which, I didn't used to put progress keepers in things. And I know that they are useful from a podcasting standpoint or for you to see my progress. But personally, lately, I have found them very useful because a lot of times I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of crafting done. In part just because my crafting has changed in scale, both of the amount of things I'm making and what I'm making. Like a fingering weight shawl is clearly going to show you progress at a slower rate than if you're doing like a toy, and so you're building parts or you're seeing like a little body come together. So that it helps me to see that there has been progress made. In the same way too, I also find it helpful to see the balls of yarn get smaller. I judge a lot by that, because too, when you're doing a shawl and you're starting from, you know, the smallest bit, so at first it's really exciting, you're getting through lots and lots of rows to get some inches of your project done. But then the rows start getting longer, so you may have only completed 2 rows, but it may have taken you just as long as it did to do a good portion of that middle triangle. So that is all that I have done this week, and I will try and keep you up to date on what I'm doing next week. If you're interested, I am doing Vlogist, which is a YouTube thing where people try and put out a video every day in August, and I am choosing to daily vlog to do that. So I have been putting out since the 1st. This is day 5, 6, it's day the 6th. I don't know. Yes, it would be, because I think I did the 5th vlog yesterday. Anyways, I am putting out a daily vlog every day, so I have been chasing myself around with the camera to kind of let you know what I've been up to. I don't know that it's necessarily all that interesting to anybody else, but it is kind of an interesting way to look back and self-analyze what I have been doing in a day and how I've been spending my time. And it is also keeping me accountable in the same way that this keeps me accountable to make sure that my yarn things are getting finished. It has been keeping me accountable to make sure that I am doing productive things with my time. So, that is that. I will see you all next week. Bye!